Twisters is out in theater, the almost 30-year sequel to Twister, and I have to say, this is my favorite blockbuster of this summer so far. It demands to be seen in the theater. It is absolutely phenomenal, both visually and narratively. You know, based on the trailers, I didn't fully know kind of, apart from like that there would be, you know, this epic peril danger, but I didn't really necessarily know the storyline. And to be honest, Twister itself was a little bit before my time, so I've only seen it like once, and it's kind of like a faded memory. It was never a movie that ultimately, you know, stood out in my mind. Not that I disliked it, but I didn't like love it, you know. So my expectations going into this one were tempered, you know, to say the least. But I was absolutely blown away, pun intended, absolutely. And the best part about it is it's pretty much a standalone movie. I mean, the only reference to the original movie is that at the start of this movie, they have a contraption called Dorothy, which they use to kind of measure a tornado and, you know, get information and data, stuff like that. But even without, you don't really need to know that. It's just a connection to the first. Everything else is literally a standalone movie in its own right, and I absolutely love it. The cast is phenomenal. It's led by Daisy Edgar-Jones, who I thought was phenomenal in Where the Crawdad Sings. I thought, you know, an underrated movie. I didn't think it was like amazing, but I also don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. And in this movie, she shines as the main character. She has this gift of feeling, you know, where, you know, and how the tornadoes will essentially happen and stuff like that. So she has this gift, and it's a very valuable gift because, you know, there's a lot of unpredictability, and in order to, you know, understand them more, you have to set up things properly so that way you can get the data and stuff like that. And that's essentially their mission, is to learn more about you know, these tornadoes, so that way they can essentially help prevent them, stuff like that. And, you know, even from the opening scene, she believes that there's a way to not only, you know, understand them better, but also dissipate them, right? Destroy a tornado. But that goes horribly wrong for her. And, you know, down the line, she tries to she comes back to the mission, if you will, and so forth, although a little bit more scarred this time around. And Glen Powell plays this kind of cavalier cowboy who, you know, seems like he's in it for the thrill, but there's a lot more to his character, which I truly appreciated. And also, you know, something you don't quite get from the trailers is that Anthony Ramos is quite heavily involved as well. And, you know, so in terms of the large scale epicness of, you know, these tornadoes and stuff like that, they are a visual to behold. Like, each set piece builds on each other. It gets bigger and bigger, and, you know, both in terms of literally the tornadoes as well as kind of the impact that this could have. So that's, you know, just very impactful to watch. But then also, I have to say, like, the human element of all of this, you're really invested in these characters, and that makes it all the more enjoyable from start to finish. And so, yeah, I truly enjoyed it. You know, it really left me. I mean, it you know, it'd be kind of a little bit perverse to say that, like, it was a full crowd pleaser, because, you know, obviously this is a movie that is grounded in a certain reality, right? Like, these things are happening left and right, and this is the dangers of our world and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, yeah, they do it in a very authentic way in terms of the medium, right? I will say, like, there is a lot of, like, scientific mumbo jumbo. I don't know how accurate that is or is not. And also what I appreciate is that they don't necessarily dumb it down for the characters. Sorry, not the characters, but the audience, you know, in that way. And I don't think you need to, right? We understand that the characters know what the hell they're talking about. Even if it goes completely over our heads, they seem to know. And at the end of the day, it resonates with us in terms of what they're trying to go for and stuff like that. And that's what we're after. We care because the characters care, and they're not dumbing it down for us. So there's truly a lot of stuff to love. Even like the songs itself are really fun and fit the vibe of the movie. So, there's a little bit something for everybody. And that's why, to me, it is like the ultimate blockbuster of this summer, at least so far, right? I know we have a Deadpool and Wolverine coming, and I'm sure that'll be amazing on many levels, but still, there's just something about this one. Not that I've seen Deadpool, Wolverine, but this one in particular just hit something within me, and the way my audience reacted to it, you could see that it hit them in a similar fashion. So I can't say enough good things about this. I think it really did a wonderful job from start to finish. There's a lot there, and contrary to the director's statements, not that I think the movie's political, but I definitely think it has a message and stuff like that. And it doesn't necessarily have to spell things out for you either. It's not didactic. When I think people talk about like a movie having a message or being woke, I think it's because that message is too shoehorned and it becomes a tell, not show. And this is very much a show, don't tell type of movie. And that's part of what makes it phenomenal. So for all those reasons, that's why I highly encourage you to see Twisters if you haven't already. You don't need to see the first one, but you can, of course, right? It's actually out on Max, so you can check it out there if you'd like. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. If and when you do see this movie, please let me know what you thought of it. I'm very curious, and if you want to talk spoilers, let's do it. Just a note as such, and we'll have a fun conversation.